Today we are going to do a roast pork, and I'm going to go through the ingredients. This is a 2 kilo pork shoulder. We like to use shoulder because it's slightly fatty, so the meat will come out very juicy. Then we will need 1 onion, preferably 2, but so far we are using 1. I will show you why in a minute. And 1 garlic, some large carrots, thyme, rosemary, salt, pepper, garlic salt, onion salt, fennel seeds, that's very important, olive oil, a brush, and a little container, and cider vinegar, and this is very important as well. So I'm going to show you how I'm prepping it. So to start with, we are going to cut the carrots ends off first. Cut it really big, like so, like that. Ends off. So for carrot this size, we need to cut it sort of 3. Okay, so try to gather that in the middle and through the herbs in, like so. And the next step, we are just going to cut the onion. It's a very specific way we are going to sort the onion. I'll show you why in a second. Cut a little bit off, like that. Doesn't matter if you can't peel all the skin off. So we are going to put the flat side up, like that. I'm going to do another piece. And just be very careful that this is not moving too much. So another one, like that, to create a flat surface. Again, we are just going to put that on there. And last one, this one, just be very careful with your fingers, like so. So we're going to put the onion flat side up, like that. And with the garlic, garlic's like that, halve it. Again, be very careful. And the flat side up. Make sure you sit that sort of in the middle because we don't want to burn garlic. Next up, we are going to prep this pork shoulder, and let's first remove the strings. When supermarkets sell those to you, they usually roll them up like that. As you can see, that side is thicker than this side. So that's not a problem, but I'm going to cut this off today so I can use that for a different dish. If this is being further folded out, you can just open it, and because it's not, I'm just gonna create some cuts like that. So to make it flatter, because when it's like that, the meat is very thick and it takes longer to cook, and the longer it cooks, the tougher it can get. So create some cuts, doesn't have to be perfect. like so. Clean your hands. Next up, we're just gonna gently put some oil, olive oil, to the pork. Use a brush so you're not overusing the olive oil. Pork shoulder is quite fatty, so we don't need to use a lot, but this is mainly for the ingredients to stick on. Make sure you do the sides as well, like that. Do all the sides. Okay, now I'm just going to use some garlic salt, not a lot because there are different salts here, so plain salt, garlic salt and onion salt. If you don't have these, that's fine, just use normal salt, but we would like to create layers of flavor, so just very lightly sprinkle that much is fine, because we're going to add onion salt as well, like so. Pepper, fennel seeds, just be very generous with the seeds because they create unbelievable flavor. Flip that over, bit more salt, and fennel seeds. So now we are going to transfer that to the tray like that. Right, so now you can see this side of the meat is higher than the other side because this side is thicker. So we are going to just remove this onion there to just lift this meat up. So now it's sort of leveled. So tuck the garlic in so it won't get burned, like so. The reason why I said it's one onion or two is if this is still very low down, because if you go have a look at the tray, and here we would like the meat to go up at this much so the skin will come out very crispy. So if your vegetable can't elevate the meat too much, you just need to use another onion to just build up the base. Right, the next step is very, very important. That is to dry the skin very well. I did try to dry it before starting the process, but you never know. This, you can see a tiny little bit moisture coming out. So I think it's being dried quite well. Right, now, once it's dried, brush it with the remaining olive oil. Brush the side as well. As you can see, the side is quite plain. We haven't put much salt and everything else on. We'll do that last. So now it's beautifully coated. Now we are using the plain salt. We don't use any of those because they will burn easier than the plain salt. So plenty of salt, pepper, like so. We still have some olive oil left, So what I'm going to do is just gonna do a light mixture of garlic salt, onion salt, and fennel seeds. Mix well. Now we are going to use this mixture to just brush that on the side of the meat. Just put on the vegetable that you can see it's not been covered by the meat. So final step before it goes to go into the oven is put some water or chicken stock. We don't have chicken stock, so avoid the meat. Just carefully put at the bottom of the tray, because this meat is going in for quite a while, so we want to make sure that nothing gets burned. So just sort of a third to cover the carrots here. The carrots will release some water as well. And then this is a secret ingredient, cider vinegar. Just be careful that it doesn't go on the meat. Just a tiny drizzle, just around. You can see the water slightly changing color, but not much. So I'm going to put that in the fridge. If you have time, put it in the fridge for about an hour. If you don't, that will go into the oven on low at 160 for 2 hours. And then once the 2 hours is up, and put it to 220 for another half an hour. This is a 2 kilo meat, but obviously I cut some of the meat off. So yeah, 2.5 hours, and I will show you what's next. Okay, take a look of where the water level is. That will increase when we do the roasting. We just need a little bit water and apple cider vinegar so that they create the steam effect, and then make sure that half of your meat is above the tin. More than half, or half, or thereabout. As long as most of the skin is exposed, that's fine. So now it goes into the oven, cold oven, I may add, 160, slow cook for 2 hours. But make sure you sort of check at 1 hour mark, just to switch it around if you need to. Reduce that. Right, so it's been slow cooked for about 2 hours. As you can see the pork shrunk quite a lot, and there's more liquid coming out as well. Right, and I just flipped some of the onion. So we are going to use a juice for gravy. Okay, so now this is going for another half an hour, but we are going to turn the heat right up to 220. Feed me by the way. And this will crispy up further. I also have a pan here with some oil heating nicely for some Yorkshire pudding shortly. So I'm setting the timer for 30 minutes at 220. Then I will show you what it will become. So I placed the pork on a plate along with the garlic and the carrots. The pork needs a further 20 minutes rest. In the meantime, I discard the onion, herbs and the juice in a pan, and I also added some beef granule, and I'm going to add some boiling water to just slowly cook that into a thick paste. So 20 minutes cooking time. In the meantime, we have Yorkshire pudding also cooking.